The U.S. is obviously being disingenuous. We really never ended the Cold War. The whole reason we're here right now is because NATO and the United States, NATO pushed by the United States and the EU, in great part crossed Russia's red lines that the United States intelligence and State Department knew that was the expansion of NATO eastward, and also, of course, the failed state that Ukraine was in 2014, something that largely the State Department of the United States wants to ignore, the fact that that people within the region of Donbass were murdered. 14,000 civilians have died in the last 8 years. And so therefore, Ukraine could be considered, as many other states are considered, a neo-colonial state of NATO and the West. And this new Cold War, as you mentioned, also includes China, with the U.S. setting their sights into Taiwan, setting their sights into Eurasia, not being honest and understanding that they're clearly losing this battle, not just militarily. We obviously have NATO troops in Ukraine, but also the battle of the people, even in spite of mainstream media covering the Ukraine-Russia conflict from a very pro-Ukrainian perspective, independent media and others have, on the ground, have pretty much shown the potency of the Russian forces.
An ego-driven leader will do it for themselves. Will put the blame on another person instead on the actual mechanisms in the system. An altruistic leader will actually try to do things for people, and they won't have to do much. People will reciprocate that because it happens naturally. And that's people have such a hard time discerning who's bullshitting them and who's not, especially in this country, especially on the left. And they just don't get it. They don't get it.
And it went the way it did, and then was put into place to make sure that nobody else grabs power in Haiti.
Do you remember about that? When we were covering that, they spoke English.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. How many coups does the United States have to carry out for people to recognize the same regime change playbook? I mean, it's just one playbook with a couple of little, tweaks here and there depending on the country, but it's the same exact playbook.
And the same way that Blinken and all these politicians can just lie. Hey, we're looking to get to the bottom of this ourselves. We really don't know what's going on, and we want to make sure that they have fair elections. No, you want to make sure that you have complete control in the Caribbean and in South and Central America on your own soil that you feel that belongs to you. I mean, this is disgusting. This is just terrible, and they never answered the question.
It's neo-colonialism. I mean, it never really, like I said, we just said, like, it's the United States. We went from England to the Spain to the United States. I mean, this is it. It's the same entities at this point.
Did Blinken really think he was going to walk in here and not get his ass handed to him, fam?
I mean, because they weren't supposed to allow anybody that wasn't credentialed, but they will never condemn the jailing of Julian Assange. And that is what will set a precedent for the rest of us. And I think that, that should have been mentioned, but whatever. Like, I'm glad people are pushing back against Blinken, and we're able to say a couple things.
Anthony, there was 2 pushbacks. Let's get to the third one and the best one. You know what I'm saying? We give credit where credit's due. PSL, sometimes we can have some criticisms about them, especially when it comes to their pandemic and COVID mentality. Just awful. But when it does come to, we've met some anti-imperialists out there from PSL. We met somebody in Colombia, was amazing.
Yeah.
So let's roll this clip right here of another PSL member right now, just going and letting Blinken have it. And everything he says, fam, is so on the money. So on the money, because this thing is truthful. That we're being actual citizen journalists and bringing them the information on the streets that they refuse to bring you. That's what it's all about. It's about integrity and character, not format.
And meanwhile, while this is all happening, with this democracy summit, the United States domestic economy is falling apart. People are really, I hear the gas is crazy, but also in Florida where the minimum wage is less.
Ridiculous.
And in parts of the country where minimum wage is even less than $10, it's close to $5, the gas prices. This is, and things have gone up so much. My mother went shopping the other day and she was like, this is insane. And it just keeps going up. It's going to get worse. Biden told you it would get worse. And so here is our Steve's number one crush. I'm going to introduce her as that now because I keep forgetting her name. So
he calls her Sugar Bear.
Sugar Bear, okay. I'm not going to call her that. I think that's disrespectful, Steve. In spite of her being, a talking head. But let's just play it easier. And the other one, like I said, was better. She had the dead eyes.
The other one?
Peppermint Patty.
I find that disrespectful. She looks more like Raggedy Ann.
No, stop. Don't. Gingers are our friends. Do not go after gingers, okay?
Gingers are evil.
Caleb Maupin's a good ginger. We love gingers here.
Tyrant evil bastard. Love you, Caleb.
Stop.
You're not a tyrant evil bastard. You're my friend.
Oh, you're my friend.
You're my friend.
Okay, so yeah, she's lost. Nobody believes this, obviously, especially Americans that are literally.
I gotta pull up her real name because I know it's Karine.
Yeah.
Pierre.
Something like that.
I gotta make sure I get it right.
I'm not calling her Sugar Bear.
Of course, so there's our declaration, and our Constitution says that when the government fails, people have the right to push back.
I mentioned today too. Even Mark said that.
And Mark said it.
Mark said that a working class unarmed or disarmed is a very dangerous situation.
Yeah, there's just no way in this moment, right? And so Americans are not going to give up the Second Amendment. I think what you said earlier is it's possible that they're going to raise the age to 21.
Yeah,
and
they're going to get something from it. The Republicans are going to act like, oh my God, like we tried to fend off this and that. We had to give up this. And it's once again, it's just slowly, they're inching. They want to disarm us faster, but they're inching little by little. So now what they're going to do is going to cut the age from 18 to 21.
And it's going to make it more expensive for people to get guns. So who's going to have more guns? Rich people.
Of course, so there's our declaration, and our Constitution says that when the government fails, people have the right to push back.
I mentioned today too, even Mark said that.
And Mark said it.
Mark said that a working class unarmed or disarmed is a very dangerous situation.
Yeah, there's just no way in this moment, right? And so Americans are not going to give up the Second Amendment. I think what you said earlier is it's possible that they're going to raise the age to 21.
Yeah,
and
they're going to get something from it. The Republicans are going to act like, oh my God, like we tried to fend off this and that. We had to give up this. And it's once again, it's just slowly, they're inching. They want to disarm us faster, but they're inching little by little. So now what they're going to do is going to cut the age from 18 to 21.
And it's going to make it more expensive for people to get guns. So who's going to have more guns? Rich people
have access to guns, whereas the poor, you don't get no guns.
Yeah.
And again, if you want a successful revolution, you need to get the arms. That's just how it works.
Saying that it's a right-wing trope and say, well, criminals are going to eventually end up with the guns. And you're like, well, that's a right-wing trope. Well, you know, our government just gave $40 billion of weapons to Nazis, to fucking Nazis. So I'm not going to trust them.
George wants to give them all the weapons they take from us to the Azov battalion.
I'm not talking about like criminals who are looking to feed themselves, whatnot, that break the law because they're starving. I'm talking about criminals who are funded just out there to make sure that they torment and put fear into the public, whatnot, at the hands of fascist leaders. Some super rays. By the way, 230, almost 240 people watching on YouTube. Guys, thank you for sharing. We got almost 92 here on the Convo Couch, fam. What do you got for the super rays there? Who's that?
Chris Leon, AMLO needs to continue his movement, but he faces opposition even in his own country. Yes, he does. The white Mexican gusanos in media like Televisa and Univision do major harm to misinform people. You even see how Mexican television despises its own people by how they are portrayed in the media by white European Mexicans.
For who? A bunch of shit libs that can go. I've never listened to Alex Jones
some
before.
of what he says has been lies. So once you lie and you meddle the lies with the truth, it's literally used to discredit and call everybody a conspiracy theorist, even though there might be some grains of truth in what you say. It's like QAnon.
It's not even grains of truth. That's a big, so much of what he said was true. Way more further true than the mainstream media has ever been told.
So much, not a lot, not like all of it though. And that's the point. Well, all right, you can defend Alex Jones on other.
I don't want to defend Alex Jones right now. I want to do our show. Guys, thank you so much for joining in today. Thank you for everybody who's watching on the YouTube. There's less than 50 people there, so it's like, share, subscribe. Let's get it out there. We got a nice little crowd brewing on over in the Rockfin fam. Would you guess who came in first?
Trey Wright, my mate.
My mate. Love you. Love you too, Trey Wright. Thank you so much for the Super Ray contribution. It is always appreciated on the couch, and we need to get rolling here today. We have a busy schedule, a busy weekend. What is going on this weekend, fam?
Right. So you guys know that the Biden Democracy Summit, which is of the Americas, by the way, is going on. And, you know, I'm probably not going to be allowed in. So I'll just be reporting the counter protest from the LA Convention Center, and also covering the People's Summit, which, by the way, extremely disappointing that they are demanding that vaccination cards or a test, at least, or a test. But they're demanding masks inside, which I think is ridiculous at this point because the state does not require that. In fact, and nowhere else requires that. I went to the airport in Florida. We've been all over Colombia. Nobody's requiring any of this anymore. So it's really ridiculous. It is absolutely virtue signaling.
To the regular atmosphere of the room, Franco's asking Vanguard, what are we gonna do about all this fear porn that we're generating? It's all well and good. We talk on these popular shows. Long story short, Frank Analysis says that they're talking on YouTube, their tweets, their discords, their chats. All that will eventually lead to a general strike. I truly wanted to download some of this stuff. Dore told Frank Analysis that he enjoys his show. He said something very similar when he was on with the Vanguard lads. Yeah, you guys show up in my feed. The bottom line is Frank Analysis and Vanguard showed up over the last half year to a year tops. Roar Media showed up about a year ago. Redneck Economics and Manitalk have been around a long time, since 2017, which is really not that long a time, because where were they before then? They were nowhere. But when they come up in 2017, they worked with Evon Kim, and I'm not going to repeat myself. I have explained everything in the previous videos. They're using scripts. Check out Fiorella I think her last name is Instant Message. No. Why is her last name I am? Okay, that's her username. Why is she presenting herself as Fiorella Isabel? It's weird. She's reading off a script. Look to her eyes and how she looked down to the left. I don't know if they're going to switch up strategies now that I've reached a guaranteed level of 10 views. They're not worried about me. They'll only be worried if what I'm saying about them goes viral somehow. I got them doctoring the Echo Park footage, yet they still keep cooking. No one from Daily Beast seems to notice that. When Mandy Nagy helped me out on that Kimberlin thing, it was all from that Breitbart, right-wing kook angle. She didn't really see it the way I did. I was saying they were hoaxing it up for Cointelpro. They were thinking within the left-right, I can't say paradigm, but within that conditioning, it couldn't be any more obvious Jimmy Dore is a Cointelpro agent. There's enough evidence. There's no doubting this. There's no, where are you coming up with that? I researched it all. Franco Analysis was saying to those guys, Vanguard, that we all might have started out through the Young Turks. He mentioned the Young Turks as if that's the starting point of independent media. They're heavy-handed. A few people understand what I'm saying, so I'm pretty much on my own. I will alienate anyone who seems to agree with me. Unless, of course, you're someone out there who's going, thank God he's not with those other people. I'm just seeing myself up against the ecosystem. We're all just individuals. I don't have the confidence the ecosystem is in trouble. I do think they're stalling out. I do think they're done. Yet those types of people can persist for years and decades. Rutkowski is still chugging along, although I did check him out a month or two ago, and he has involuntary facial movements. He does these edit cuts. A lot of them do that. Shoe on Head, that female, she was doing that too. Goodman's done. That's gotta be cocaine. I'm seeing the puffy cheeks, the eye blinking, rapid eye movement, left to right too, back and forth that way, to the side, horizontal. His eyebrows, they remind me of that John Belushi skit. The creepiest part of that thing is Goodman goes into fake crazy man mode when he senses or notices he has lost control of his eyebrows. It's called a fake crazy man shtick. It's cringeworthy. It's pure cringe watch. On second thought, I'm not going to add any audio. I like my own audio because I talk with a nice clear voice. I remove the background noise from the room. I throw in some pictures. I have gotten fully back into stamps, so I probably won't be making videos that often from here on out. That might mean once a week, something like that. Maybe I should write something out or come up with some ideas for a better show. It's pure, come on, man. They're plugging right-wing militias right there. It should be, that's it, they're done. Those are that's FBI rat snitch TV proverbially. There's no debate in this stuff. I've been around for so long, like 15 years. I've been following the internet for 15 years. These are the same schmucks. These are those same daily costs. This is deep state. This is the proverbial deep state. I've been tracking them. I've been chasing that shadow the whole way. I'm not making this up because anyone who remembers my shtick, I would never shut up about Hal Turner. He signified everything. Vanguard, schmangard. I think I proved enough. How can I prove anything else about that whole ecosystem thing? What is it that I haven't come up with that hammers in the nail that they have no credibility, that they're working for Cointelpro? I say they're working for the Five Eyes. They're the American version of the Five Eyes. I think laws got changed or something got slipped by executive order or something. So these MFers can commit psyops against their own American fam. They call us fam. They're like our dad and mom. They tell us what to do. They tell us how to think. So yeah, I'm remembering a little bit here and there from Franco Analysis. I mailed this in, so I don't really have much to offer. I don't even recommend people watching them that much. But I do like to discuss that they're Cointelpro. Franco was talking up their fake protest that got no one there. No one was there. No one showed up. He's saying it's going to pick up. Oh, he said it was international. It's not worth my time. Daily Beast goes after them because they want the two sides as complementary, as fake enemies. Daily Cost and Breitbart needed the other side to generate interest. The two sides in the Trojan War were the same schmuck. There wasn't a good or bad side. I don't think so anyway. Professor told us that once. He said those were complementary pieces. I recommend Krishnamurti. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm also going to sing a little tune to end this show because I'm feeling confident in my singing voice. I think I can do 3 octaves. Let's see, I'll try to find a good one. You make mistakes, you go for it. It's all practice. I'm practicing in public. Am I wrong? Have I run too far to get home? Have I gone? Left you here alone? Am I wrong? Have I run too far to get home? Have I gone? Left you here alone?